"You need clearance to be back here, old man. This isn't a charity," Kylie Madsen snapped, her voice echoing through Gate C-17 of Atlanta International. Her crisp beige blazer and badge glinted under the fluorescent lights as she blocked the service corridor. Elijah Brooks didn't flinch. He adjusted his grip on the luggage cart, the one with the squeaky front wheel, and calmly replied, "I'm just doing my job, ma'am." Kylie scoffed. "Job? That's rich. You're barely holding that cart together. What are you, 70? Behind her, two TSA officers exchanged amused glances. A young flight attendant stifled a laugh. Elijah nodded slowly, his brown eyes unreadable. 62, he said, and still carrying more weight than most. Kylie rolled her eyes. "Just move these bags and stay out of sight when the generals land. We want them to see excellence, not leftovers." She walked away before he could answer. But she didn't see what he quietly picked up after she left. A folded American flag pin that had slipped from his pocket onto the cold tile floor. He brushed off the dust, eyes lingering just a second too long before tucking it gently away. The airport buzzed louder. And no one noticed the arrival board blinking. Military transport, priority landing, 9 minutes. Kylie wasn't done. 15 minutes later, in front of a growing line of waiting passengers, she waved at Elijah with exaggerated disgust. "You missed a spot. What's the point of paying you if even the trash wins?" Then, with her paper cup still steaming, she stepped forward and, without hesitation, poured hot tea down the front of his uniform. Gasps rippled through the nearby crowd. The liquid soaked through his gray work shirt, staining the patch that read "Baggage Services" and blotting the name Elijah B. Still, he didn't react, not with anger, not with retreat. Instead, he calmly removed his gloves, pulled a cloth from his back pocket, and began cleaning the floor without saying a word. Around him, tension crackled like static. A toddler pointed at him. A teenager began filming. But Elijah's movements remained steady, like a man who had survived worse storms than this. "Why don't you fight back?" a voice asked quietly. It was an older woman in a wheelchair, her voice hoarse but warm. He glanced at her, then back at the floor. "Because some fights ain't worth showing teeth for," he murmured, "not until they see who you really are." She leaned closer. "They will." And as she said it, the airport speakers crackled to life. Final approach confirmed. Military priority inbound. Repeat, priority inbound. The terminal grew still. Outside the glass walls, a gray C-17 military transport touched down, an unusual sight at a commercial gate. Phones came out, security scrambled. Inside, Kylie strutted past Elijah again. "Hope you're not in the way when the real heroes arrive," she hissed. But this time, a deep voice cut through the terminal. "Make way for Staff Coordinator Brooks." Every head turned. Captain Samir Rahim, head of airport military security, had entered from the tarmac with 2 escorts. He was tall, composed, and carried a clipboard with precision. Kylie blinked. "Who?" Rahim pointed directly at Elijah. "Him, the man you mocked." Kylie laughed nervously. "You can't be serious. That's just our baggage." Rahim raised a hand. "He was the commanding officer on Operation Winterhaven. He saved my mother's unit 31 years ago. And today, he's the reason we're standing on American soil." Silence thundered across the gate. Even the teenager filming earlier lowered his phone. Elijah said nothing. He just stepped forward, face expressionless, and reached out for the arriving military cargo, but his fingers were trembling slightly. Kylie took a shaky step back, eyes darting between Rahim and Elijah. And in that pause, the old woman in the wheelchair whispered just loud enough, "Told you they'd see." Elijah helped secure the rear ramp as uniformed soldiers descended, but instead of heading toward Captain Rahim, they turned and saluted Elijah, one by one. He didn't return the gesture at first. His eyes were locked on a young officer stepping off the plane, carrying a small wooden case wrapped in velvet. Inside, the folded flag of a fallen comrade. Elijah's fingers twitched. Rahim spoke again, this time to everyone in the terminal. This mission was to honor a man who refused a medal but carried 11 wounded soldiers through enemy fire with a shattered leg. Gasps echoed. Elijah's limp made sense now. So did the silence, the stillness. Kylie swallowed hard. Why didn't you tell anyone? Elijah turned to her, voice low. Because real rank doesn't need applause, and some uniforms never stop carrying weight, even after you take them off. Passengers stared, some in shame, others in awe. A child pointed at his name badge. "Mommy, he's a real hero, huh?" The mother nodded, eyes wet. The kind they don't put in books. And as the flag was handed to Elijah, his voice cracked slightly. "This isn't mine. It belongs to the ones who didn't come home." The old woman closed her eyes. Amen. Security gave Elijah a clear path, but he didn't walk toward glory. Instead, he wheeled the case to the far wall, beneath the American flag by the arrivals board, and placed it gently on a waiting table. No speeches, no cameras. But then, unexpectedly, Kylie stepped forward. Her voice trembled. "Mr. Brooks, I judged you, and I humiliated you. I don't expect forgiveness." He looked at her. "Then don't ask for it. Just remember next time, rank can fade, but dignity echoes." She nodded, tears forming, then quietly stepped back. One by one, passengers stood, not for applause, but in silence. Then a boy in uniform, barely 20, approached and saluted. "Sir, may I shake your hand?" Elijah offered his, worn and scarred. Their grip lingered. The young soldier whispered, "Your name's in my father's journal. He called you the reason he survived." Elijah closed his eyes, just for a second. Then he walked toward the exit. No medals, no camera flashes. Only the sound of quiet footsteps and a flag gently rustling in the air vent above him. And on the terminal screen, the words glowed, "Welcome home." Elijah Brooks taught us that true honor doesn't shout, it endures. Dignity isn't found in titles, but in how you carry yourself when the world turns away. Let this be a reminder. Every silent hero deserves to be seen, not just remembered. If this story moved you, hit like, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts below. Your comment might be the voice someone needs to hear today.